Chapter 27. A monster looks around with my eyes, flexes my hands, and inhales with my lungs. For once, it's not even me. Wow, the slime comments, voice sounding as if I was trying to copy Penelope's tone and cadence. You're very short. Hey, fuck you, I think, mentally grinning. It doesn't take at first, but after a delay she makes it real. Then she turns my body to Penelope and bows deeply. Thank you, she says fervently, for allowing me to exist. I am so sorry. I know I may never make it up to you, but I owe you everything. I'll do whatever you want. Just please don't kill me. My eyes are looking down at the road, but I hear Penelope take a shaky breath. She starts to walk closer. Is that really all you are? She hisses. Is there nothing more important to you than staying alive? I begged you to set me free. To let me have just a few moments to reclaim my sanity. Where was your contrition then? I'm sorry, the slime almost whispers. You would have screamed. You would have cried for help. You would have tried to get me killed. I saw your thoughts. You were planning it every time. Of course I was. Penelope screams. You. How dare you act like a person? How dare you tell me that you had no choice while you laughed with my voice, made friends with my team and enjoyed fancy baths under my name? The bath was for you. I wanted you to enjoy, liar. Penelope shrieks, tears starting again. If you only care about me when it's convenient, you don't care about me at all. Throwing me a chewed bone like I'm a starving dog on the street is not mercy, you arrogant, insufferable thing. I am not your cuddled pet. The slime turns my head upwards, finally breaking the bow. Penelope is close, her face a mess of tears and rage. If you were in my position, the slime asks evenly, would you have done any different? If our roles were reversed, would you die for me? Or would you have watched me suffer? She would watch, I suspect. Penelope is a survivor. The slime knows that, inside and out. It's why she asked. Our positions are not reversed, Penelope answers, glowering. What ifs do not excuse you? I don't ask to be excused, my body replies easily. Only understood. With that, the slime lets go. I stumble slightly, surprised at suddenly having control again, then stand up straight. I'm back, I tell Penelope. Good for you, she answers, crossing her arms. Sorry, I say, scratching my cheek. I get that I'm basically harboring your torturer because she was really nice to me while she tortured you. How aptly put, Penelope growls. Okay, maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to say on my part. I believe her, though, I insist. When she says she's sorry, and when she said she felt like she had no other choice. I don't think she's evil. She did bad stuff, but she doesn't deserve to die. Just, work off the debt. Maybe. She's smart and useful. Penelope is clearly livid, but considers it despite herself. If you die, there will be nothing stopping it from taking me over again, she points out. Well, we'd best make sure I stay alive, then. I answer, grinning. She sneers. You cheeky, conniving bitch. Thank you, Vita, I respond in a mocking voice. Thank you so much for keeping me alive on our hunt, and saving me from mind-control slimes, and earning me an indebted slime servant, and escorting me all the way back to Skyhope so we don't get murdered by monsters or bandits on the road. I really appreciate it, Vita. Looking away, she snorts, perhaps trying to hide a smile. You did all those things for your own sake, she protests. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But are you free now or aren't you? Holding herself tightly, she takes a deep breath before answering, glancing around the surrounding forest. I suppose I'm free, she whispers. And you're going to stay that way, I tell her firmly. No matter what. I promise. Besides, you're a genius by a answer. I bet you already have a plan on how to stop getting possessed a second time, right? Penelope slowly lets her breath back out, shaking as if still close to tears. She nods to me, though, forcing her expression to stay calculating. Okay. We'll do it your way, then. For now. I smile and nod back, setting off slowly down the road back home. Penelope follows next to me, head held high out of habit more than mood. I reach up, tapping on my neck again to signal my currently deaf companion, and the slime takes over. "Hey there," I think at her. "Do you have a name?" "Penelope," she says, causing Penelope to look up. "Yes? You can't be named Penelope. Penelope is Penelope. What about Penta? You copy memories, so you're probably gonna end up half Penelope, half Vita. Penta, huh?" My body murmurs. I suppose it fits. I'll grow into it, anyway. I still have a deep-seated hatred of nicknames. "Oh, you're the slime again," Penelope says, scowling. "Yes, hello," Penta answers her. "Vita wanted to talk to me. This is about the only way I can do it." "Hearing you talk to yourself is disturbing," Penelope answers. "At least give me both sides of the conversation." "That's not a bad idea, I think. We should practice swapping between each other anyway. It'd be convenient if you didn't have to completely lose your senses when I'm in control, as well. Can you do partial control? Passive control?" "I don't know," Penta says. "It's worth a try. You have a very strange mind. Everything is colorful." "Thanks, I think. Thanks, I think," Penta says out loud, copying the way I thought it. "Wow, that's really disturbing. Wow, that's really disturbing. We might need to work on the time lag. We might need to work on the time lag. Look, I'm trying, okay? Neither of us have done this before, it's difficult." Penelope gives us a concerned look, prompting me to flash a reassuring grin back at her. My body actually does so about a second later. "We'll figure it out," I coax my body to say. "It's just going to take some practice." "I still can't believe you're attempting this," Penelope answers, shaking her head. "It's a parasite, and you're letting it in on purpose. This is going to backfire, Vita." "Maybe it will, but I doubt it. If Penta is picking up my memories and habits, well, gratitude is pretty much my single driving motivator." I feel Penta frown slightly, perhaps considering that very thought. "You're a lot more manipulative than I took you for initially, Vita," she says. Penelope raises an eyebrow. "Hey, I went well out of my way to save your slimy butt," I answer. "That's genuine." She smiles with my face. I can't imagine that ever not feeling weird. "True, you did. And I know it was. Thank you. Though I must say, I can see why you have such a soft spot for a monster like me." "Hey, maybe don't say shit that will get Penelope suspicious." "You'll probably be able to tell her," Penta whispers quietly. "If she trusts you with me, she'll trust you with that. And if not, we're both screwed anyway." "Huh? I don't know about that. It seems risky. She'd be a useful person to know, but if a noble goes around claiming I'm an animancer. You took the risk with me, and I'm basically her. Firstly, you're in my body and I can kill you if you try to tell anyone. Kind of a different situation. Secondly, you're not her. You have aspects of her, but you two are very different people. I think about each of their souls, how Penelope's traits manifested inside the glob of slime but still remained distinct. I can't say that makes me feel better about this, Penta answers. The threats really aren't necessary, and you should know that. Have you looked? Hold on. Yeah, I feel it. That's no good. What? Penelope demands. Big monster incoming, both of us say at once. Shit, I thought the roads were supposed to be safe. Well, relatively safe. Something nasty is headed our way, though. A huge, sleek soul, gray and sharp. It feels strained, like maybe it's injured. Oh geez, if it's on the run from an even bigger monster. Well, I don't feel anything like that, thank goodness. Still, it's huge and fast and headed right for us. Just Penelope and I against it? I don't like those odds at all. I grab Penelope by the arm and sprint off the road. We leap over shrubs and stumps, making a beeline for the tree line. Fighting this thing is a bad idea, so I'm really hoping we can just hide. It takes a while to get to the opposite side of the clearing, but we just barely make it before a massive beast crashes out of the trees on the far end. It's a terrifying creature, with 4 limbs each bigger than me that look like thick, muscled arms. The central bit is mostly a sharp-toothed mouth, the arms seemingly attached to a giant head rather than a body. It moves by grabbing tree trunks and hurling itself forward, so when it hits the clearing it's forced to scamper awkwardly across the road. I see it slow down, sniffing at the air. I hold my breath. Don't smell us, don't smell us, don't smell us. Fucking hell, it starts to clamber right towards us. Shit. Penelope looks grim, but starts casting a spell without missing a beat. You better be able to fucking kill this, Penelope. I hiss at her, rushing out of cover towards the damn thing. It's awkward on the road, so I can't let it get to the trees. Me? Penelope shrieks. What about you? I have a stick. I yell back, brandishing the weapon. You have a death touch. That works on small things. This thing is bigger than my fucking house. The banter ends when a massive hand takes a swing, forcing me to duck or get splattered into paste. The wind from the strike missing knocks me on my ass, and I barely scramble backwards as the monster brings 2 more fists down on the section of road we were on just a split second ago. Fuck. Fuck. This is exactly the kind of thing I went through so much effort to avoid back in the forest. Why is it on the damn road? No time to question it. How do I survive? I don't think this dinky spear is getting through its skin. Maybe, hypothetically, I could stab it in the eyes, thrusting the spear deep enough for a killing blow? Yeah, right. I'm not that good. How would I even reach? Run up its fucking arm? Probably a bad idea, Penna comments, startling me so bad I almost dodge straight into a death blow. She corrects for me, moving us out of the way. Fuck. No talking while fighting. Just give me control. I have one plan, and it's terrifyingly simple. Keep dodging and hope Penelope kills it before it kills me. It's not a good plan, but what the fuck else am I supposed to do? My body is light. I had a good night's rest recently. I just ingested a huge amount of souls and I'm feeling better than I ever have before in my life. Yet this toothy, 4-armed freak is way bigger than me, stronger than me, faster than me, and eventually it's only a matter of time before it crack hits me. A wild swing catches me in the side, snapping my arm and shattering more than a few ribs as it lifts me off the ground and flings me clear to the other side of the road. Vaguely, I hear Penelope scream my name in terror as I sail through the air. Breath ejects from my body as I land on my back, skidding down the dirt road. Shit. Shit. The creature pounds over to me, intent on finishing the job. I scramble to my feet, letting my shattered arm dangle. No sense carrying that damn spear anymore. Why does it always go back to me and my fucking knife? Maybe I should actually spend some of my money on better gear. I stagger back as it lunges again, barely keeping my footing. You know, so, now would be a great time to unlock some new animancy bullshit. There's no answer, of course. I'm not that lucky. Hard way it is, then. I gather all the power I can into my dagger hand. It's big and I don't like my odds, but it's no Remus. I have to try. The massive, monstrous hand swings for my head and stops. Slowly, deliberately, the creature sits down. I look it in the eyes. Its freakish mouth smiles at me. Then, it brings an arm to its own teeth and bites, shattering bone and ripping its limb clean off. Blood sprays over my face as it tears at its arms, ripping itself asunder. Then it moves to the next limb, then the next, biting, ripping, destroying. It screams in pain but bites anyway. Cutting, chewing, tearing, it finally moves to the 4th limb, haltingly, staggeringly. But collapses before it can finish its cannibalistic self-quadriplegia. I take a deep breath, nearly collapsing back to the ground as a tiny, nearly invisible blob of slime flows out of the monster's back, over the ground, and back up my leg. Yes, you're right, my mouth says, unbidden. I suppose it is more efficient if I let you control your body. Okay. You earned that one. Thanks, Penta. The monster is still breathing, if barely. I painfully stagger back over to her. I drop my spear, holding it one-armed as I circle around towards the monster's eyes. Can't it move? No, my mouth promises. I suspect it will die on its own in a few minutes, if that. Yeah, I can believe it. She really mutilated the fucker. Still, I want to kill it myself. Even if it's not strictly necessary, I bring the spear up and jab it down through an eyeball, putting all my meager weight behind it. It sinks through flesh, carving something important out of the head and bringing an end to the monster's life. A huge soul floats out of the body, which I immediately swallow to take the edge off the pain. The sleek feeling as it slides down my throat, the sharpness eroding away to nothing as I dissolve it in myself. Ah, it's so satisfying. Lie down. Penelope orders, running out from cover towards me. Shouldn't we get away from the core? Lie down. I obey. I'm worried about scavengers coming after us, but I'm not gonna argue with the biomancer. I let myself collapse to the dirt, searing pain hitting me anew as the adrenaline starts to wear off. I thought it was pretty bad at first, but now it's getting worse and worse. She reaches me, hitting my body with a quick scan before starting her work. This is going to be uncomfortable, she comments, as the inside of my chest starts to reconfigure itself. Shards of bone are ripped out of organs as the organs stitch up and move back into place. Occasionally she stops to collect and pull concerningly large globs of blood up from my lungs and out my mouth, telekinetically tossing them onto the road with a splatter. Okay, you're good to talk again, Penelope says eventually. So please tell me what the fuck you were thinking? I didn't exactly have a lot of time to think, I complain. There was sort of a giant, hungry monster taking up my attention. Thanks for not killing me while you worked, Penta adds. Actually, better question, what the hell was Remus thinking, sending us back to Skyhope alone? Penelope grumbles, seemingly ignoring both of us. Didn't he think you were his child, or something? He probably thought you would be safe with Vita, Penta answers. Charging out from deep in the forest is not normal monster behavior. Besides, his child would have lived no matter what. We can always just infect the winner of a fight and find a new host. How very comforting, Penelope grumbles. We need to stop him before he spreads any more of you. Agreed, Penta and I say together. He's not considering cooperation an option, when it obviously is, Penta adds. But what can we do to stop him? He's controlling Remus. Can't we just send the guild after him? I groan. I've had enough of getting beat up by Remus for one lifetime. Penelope snorts. The guild head is a bureaucrat, not a hunter. He'd call in other hunter teams or possibly the Templars, and they'd all happily kill Remus in order to deal with the slime. Ooh, maybe I can pick up his soul. No. Wait, Remus dying is bad. Right? That's bad? I guess I like Remus. They'll also start a purge looking for other Nora, Penta comments. Which might get them searching for us. The implication being that that would not only be bad for Penta's longevity, but also mine. There's no way the Templars don't have some method of detecting animancy. Yeah, that'll probably all suck, but the alternative is trying to kill Remus Lime ourselves, I point out. Is that even possible? Penta and Penelope have no answer to my question, which seems to settle it. I stand up and stretch, heading over to the monster corpse and giving it a spiteful kick. Damn, that soul was good, though. I wonder if its meat would be good. Should we take an arm home? No, that would attract other monsters. Ooh, maybe we'll get attacked again and I can eat more souls. Your gluttony is a little concerning, Penta comments. Watcher's eyes, is she thinking about eating that thing? Penelope grimaces. Of course I am. It's free meat. Maybe we can treat it real fast and chomp it while it's juicy. I am pretty hungry after all that biomancy, so arguably, no, we're not eating raw monster meat, Penta objects, forcing me to start the walk back to town. How about we get out of here before the scavengers get ballsy, I mentally pout but don't overrule her, and a relieved Penelope follows after the two of us. An hour of walking later and the forest finally gives way to farmland once more, vast fields of grain being the only thing left between us and the city. Now that relative safety of civilized lands is in reach, it strikes me again how beautiful it is out here. Even the grain fields are a new and exciting sight to my eyes. I simply haven't seen unthreshed wheat more than a few times before, and the hypnotic way it flows in the breeze captures my gaze like nothing in the city can manage. The forest is even more beautiful, full of exotically colored flowers and dazzling spreads of insects. Though I rarely get to appreciate any of them due to the constant danger of simply being there. Oh, I should mention, Penta, I murmur, raising a hand, palm flat. You were pretty awesome out there. Ripping your own body's limbs off was fucking brutal. Penta smirks with my mouth, bringing my other hand up and completing the self-high five. If not for all the times you've gotten the shit kicked out of you, Vita, I probably would have been too scared of pain to try it. You are remarkably resistant to trauma. Well, if that was too brutal for you, you could always hold a body still while I impale it through the eyes instead, I comment. I feel like that's worse. I'm not sure if that would be worse, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to find out. I cackle, earning a very concerned look from Penelope. I grin at her. Oh, like you don't get giddy when you're figuring out how to make some beastie melt from the inside, I rib. I've seen your biomancy grin. My what? Penelope protests. Your biomancy grin. I answer. You know, when your face looks like you downed a bag full of glee shrooms whenever you get to use your talent to kill something. I do not have a biomancy grin. You super do, Penna comments. It's okay. We can admit that modifying liver cells to release anticoagulants into the bloodstream is ingenious both medically and poetically after Vita nearly died to that very same poison. Well, yes, I suppose it did give me some measure of amusement to turn the forest's dangers back against it, but the real fun came from introducing it arbitrarily via infection. Penta finishes for her. Poison is boring. Making the body produce the poison it's poisoning itself with. It's hilarious. Well, making the body produce its own doom is the fundamental basis of disease. It's not that revolutionary. I merely like the idea of extrapolating on that, altering the basic concept to adapt the filtering system into the reverse. I suppose it might not have been the most efficient way to get the job done, but when given time and opportunity I think it is important to occasionally forego standardized methods in order to experiment. I grin internally, letting the two of them chat. Damn, Penelope was desperate to talk nerdy with someone, huh? My body moves on its own now, the will of a friend guiding it along. When unwanted, I see how thoroughly this feeling would be a dread horror. I, however, can be comfortable and safe with the knowledge that I hold Penta's life in my complete control and can kill her at any moment. I'm vaguely aware that's maybe not the best foundation to build a friendship on, but it is what it is. Now that I don't have to worry about my body for a while, I'm free to concentrate on souls. Specifically, my soul. The last time I took a real deep look at it was quite a few blasphemies ago. I always feel it, but I feel it in the way I always feel my own skin. It's just there. Before, it was a small, black thing, cracked with flashes of light underneath. Now, the cracks are wider, scintillating colors flashing beneath the hard, rough shell like a chaotic storm. Some part of me, squirms inside, stretching gleefully as my soul grows. Some of the cracks are so wide that maybe, I can push bits of myself out. I want to come out. I'm ready, if I choose, to cast off my dark shell and hatch. To cast off the veneer of humanity that keeps me contained. I do not require these pathetic trappings any longer. Vita. Vita, hey. My body shouts, slapping itself lightly. You okay in there? My thoughts stall. What was? How about you don't do whatever you were about to do? She murmurs. Okay? Yeah, okay. That sounds good. At my agreement, Penta relinquishes control of the body, leaving me to walk the rest of the way back to Skyhope in silence. Chapter 28. We return to Skyhope unaccosted, And I am immediately thankful that Penta stopped me from fucking around with my soul. I don't know if other people would be able to sense that, and, for some reason, Templars are everywhere. Is it war? Doesn't seem like it. They didn't stop Penelope or me at the gate, so they're probably not after me either. Are Lynn and Rowan okay? Rowan is working with the Templars, but Lynn is wanted by them. It's a toss-up on whether or not this is actually good. What the heck is going on? I had completely forgotten Hiveric was passing over tonight, Penelope comments, staring at the sky. I follow her gaze towards tonight's incoming island, a monstrous, vertical ovoid covered in artificial fortifications. The best guess people of Skyhope have is that the entire inside of the island has been hollowed out to make them, the creatures living within, consigning themselves to eternal darkness as they built their nation inside. Oh yeah, I murmur. Me too. It's kind of been a crazy few days, huh? Explains the Templars swarming all over the place. Penelope hums non-committally, staring up at the island. I suppose we'll be drafted, since we're hunters now. Do you think they'll attack us? I ask. She scowls, thinking. Staring out at this distance, there's no way I can make out the thousands of bug people that might be crawling along the outer walls, ready to drop. Though the island passes over 4 times a year due to its quick orbit, I've never actually seen any of the battles, only heard the chaos. Street rats know better than to wander out of hiding on Hiveric nights. I haven't the faintest idea what Hiveric will do, Vita. They haven't attacked in over a year. With luck, we've finally convinced them we're not worth the effort. But perhaps they've simply been preparing. I nod. What a pain. Although, if there was a big battle, maybe I'd be able to collect a bunch of human souls. That could be good. Whoa there, that took a sudden turn, my mouth murmurs involuntarily. Penta. I didn't mean it would be good if people died, I meant that, you know, if they're going to die, I may as well. We are going to need to find somewhere private to talk, Penta whispers quietly. Soon, please? Okay. I'll figure something out. If you could not embarrass me by talking to yourself in public, Vita, it would be appreciated, Penelope says flatly. We still need to alert the guild's branch leader about Remus. Or I suppose we could go right to the Templars, with all of them out and about. Yeah, no Templars, I insist. Let's handle the branch leader. You'll need me there, then, Penelope replies confidently. Honestly, I should do it all myself. He's not going to want to talk to you. Rude, I comment, wrinkling my nose. So he's going to want to talk to you, then? I am a noble of House Vesuvius, she responds haughtily. He's obligated to talk to me. What are you going to tell him? I ask. I don't want to contradict you by accident. Just the truth, Penelope answers. No need for a complex lie. I frown, quickly ushering her into an empty ally. You're not gonna tell him about Penta, are you? Honestly, I'd rather not be the one called out for saving us, either. Can you take credit for that? She scowls back at me. You're still hiding more things, aren't you? Yes, I say bluntly. So let's not talk about it out here. Please? I don't like this, Penelope tells me. I don't like this at all. You're suspicious. You're foolish. You're dangerous. You just want me to go along with it. I won't. You're already asking too much of me just to keep that thing alive. Hey, she saved our asses back there, I whisper. It saved itself. We're a bonus. That thing isn't human, and it isn't your friend. Penelope, it will be fine. My words suddenly cut off, a jolt of fear running through me as my body stops being my own. I clutch at Penta's soul, ready to rip it out. If I may speak for myself? The slime asks sweetly. I'm no longer a threat to you, Penelope. In fact, our positions have been thoroughly reversed. I am the prisoner now. Surely that poetic justice is satisfying to some degree. You look free to me, monster, Penelope growls. Vita will sleep eventually, and nothing will stop you from taking another body and running. Gratitude will. And if you don't believe that, fear will. You can become anyone. Anything. You have nothing to fear, you liar. I fear Vita, Penta tells her, as pleasantly as ever. And when she tells you her secrets, you will too. That's enough, I demand. My secrets aren't yours to hint at. Oop, I'm being put back in my cage, Penta says. Ta-ta for now. Hey, that's not what this is, I protest, but Penta detaches from my spinal cord and sulks around under my skin, unable to hear for now. I scowl. Where did that come from? Penelope glares at me in silence for a while before responding. She sighs in a huff. We'll keep doing it your way, Vita, but only if you promise to tell me what you're up to. I take a deep breath. Fuck. Well, the girl that literally has all of Penelope's memories recommended it, so I can take a leap of faith, I guess. I will. As soon as it's actually safe to have a conversation. Okay? I promise. Just hear me out until the end, okay? It's a lot. I'll promise to hear you out. I won't promise to agree with you. And I won't lie about you killing the slimes. I scowl. Not ideal. I don't want my kill power public, but I guess I have to compromise somewhere. You won't mention Penta? I confirm. I won't, she answers begrudgingly. I won't help you hide that thing, but I won't bring it up. Fine, I agree. I need to go home and help get everyone safe for the Hiverak. We'll meet up at the guild later, okay? She opens her mouth to protest, but ends up just huffing out air. Okay, she says instead. Make sure those kids are safe. I grin. Oh, she cares. Okay. Running off towards home, I poke at my neck a bit. Is Penta sulking? I keep prodding at her until she takes control again, R1 not even stuttering. She was getting good at that really fast. What? She snaps. You seem mad. I prompt. Is everything okay? Not particularly, no. This isn't exactly the relationship I had in mind, Vita. You seem to want to help me out because you want to be my friend, but you keep amending that statement with "and if she is not my friend, I can just fucking murder her." Believe it or not, feeling someone hold a drawn bow to my head whenever I do anything is a little stressful. Sorry, I murmur. But if you run away or start splitting, you're kind of a huge threat to countless people. Oh, like you're not, Penta scoffs. So much for sympathy between monsters. Oh, and your mental musings on letting me replicate in order to farm my children are just extra fun to sift through. That was not. It's just an idea that popped through my head. It wasn't a serious consideration. Unless she was amicable. I don't know if she can not replicate. So if that's happening regardless, it might be a mercy too. You're literally considering it right now, Penta points out. Look, Vita. I get where you're coming from with this. The longer I stay in you, the more I get where you're coming from with this. But the reverse doesn't seem to be true. Learn to empathize. I can don't argue with me on this, Penta says, cutting me off again. Please? If you keep thinking of me as a tool, that's all I'm going to end up thinking of myself. I scowl. I don't think of her as a tool, do I? I think of her as a person. I saved her life. I let her live in my body. What more does she want from me? Sorry. Never mind, forget I brought it up, Penta says sulkily. Can you at least get along with Penelope so I don't die? Duh, I want to befriend Penelope anyway. Although I'm curious. Can she? Yes, she can kill me. Of course she can. I might be able to counter her biomancy plagues, but she came up with half a dozen that could end my life from a distance, and I've no doubt she could come up with more. Counter how? I think, giving up on speaking aloud. She's a learned biomancer. I have her memories. So, I'm a learned biomancer. Sick. No, the opposite of that. You literally can't not know what I meant. And the fact that you are both aware of that and okay with it is intimately disturbing to me. Aren't you worried about your secrets? I mean, it's not like it isn't freaky, I think. But ultimately I don't really like keeping secrets. It's necessary, not desirable. So it's kind of nice to have another monster to share with. Believe it or not, I don't actually want to be a monster at all. Let's hope your family doesn't think of us that way. We're almost there. I know. I finish my sprint to the shack, still feeling energetic from my recent soul gorging. I knock on the door, and Lynn pulls it open to grab me into a massive hug. Vita. You're back. She cheers. Just in time. Is there any chance you can stay home and help defend Vigor? Oh geez, I blink, not having considered that. I want to, and if you need me I probably can, but I promise to head back to the guild, cause there's a lot going on. Can't we head down below maybe? Yeah, sure, Lynn says. You okay, kiddo? Down. I insist. Down, down, down. I hop down the ladder, a concerned Lynn following. It's not that much of a drop, but it's really cool that I can just jump now and not worry about hurting myself. Rowan is already down there, and he turns and flashes a huge grin at me when I drop in. Vita. Hey. How are you doing? Really weird. I answer, running up to hug him. He grabs me and returns the hug, spinning me once. Weird how? He asks. Lynn finishes closing the hatch and drops down afterwards, looking thoughtful. Well. Do you guys think I'm not empathetic? Well, I wouldn't say that, Rowan hedged. But I do think you have a very different worldview than most people. You tend to filter things through that. That's totally normal though, Lynn adds. Everyone does that. Why are you asking? Well, the parasite who lives in my brain and has access to all my memories says I'm not empathetic enough. There's a beat of silence. I mean, normally I would just assume she's being a bitch, I continue, but she'd probably know, right? Rowan and Lynn look at each other, as if to confirm the other was feeling just as confused and horrified as they were. Vita, what did you do? Rowan asks. Nothing. I protest. Okay, technically a lot of things, but... Okay. Look, so like, on our way back from the mission, Penelope and Remus both got infected by these mind control slimes that are only as smart as whoever they're controlling, right? The one in Remus is a huge jerk that tried to infect me, but the one in Penelope was super nice and helped heal the kids and stuff. So when I found out they were all slimes I didn't want to kill her, but she has to be in somebody's body, and being trapped in her own body was a waking nightmare for the real Penelope, so I had to let her hang out in mine. Her name is Penta, because she is like an amalgam of me and Penelope's heads. Also, if anybody else finds out about her she'll probably die. Wanna talk to her? Sure. Lynn says, deciding to embrace the crazy. Penta takes full control, smoothly altering my posture to be more like how Penelope carries herself. She didn't normally. Perhaps it was for Lynn and Rowan's benefit. Hello, you two, she says. I know a lot about you, but it's nice to finally meet in person. Hello. Penta, Rowan says slowly. What are you, exactly? I am a translucent pseudo-liquid approximately 2 inches in diameter when condensed into a spherical shape. I am capable of permeating flesh and integrating with a body's nervous system in order to read and spoof commands. In other words, mind control slime about covers it. And you can just do that? Lynn asks. To anyone, yes, Penta says. At least so far as I know. Although you don't have to worry. If I attempt to leave Vita's body, she will kill me. So for now, we're taking turns. I chime in. Which is to say I'm mostly just hiding. Vita's natural abilities make me a non-threat to her, as for some reason she can still use them when I'm in control, Penta finishes. You know, Rowan says, just when I think I can start to relax about you, Vita, you always find some way to make me utterly terrified again. She's a teenager, Penta says. That's how fathers are supposed to feel. Rowan chokes on something and starts coughing. Hey. Rowan isn't my dad. Vita, Rowan could not possibly be any more your dad. Just like Lynn is. Lynn's face twitches dangerously. Your big sister, Penta finishes, not missing a beat. Lynn grins, suitably mollified. Welp, I like her. She says. This is betrayal. I protest. Lynn is totally my mom and you know it. Can we stop arguing parental lineage and address the fact that you have a slime from outside the walls living inside your head? Rowan asks, exasperated. Yes, I'm going to need a place to hide, I suspect, Penta says. Will you? I ask. Biomancers can't even detect you, right? I was lying through my teeth about that, Penta explains. I could absolutely detect myself with Penelope's spells. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hunters Guild has other ways to deal with Nora as well, since they're aware of us. But where would we hide you? I murmur, glancing at Lynn and Rowan. Hell no, Rowan says firmly, holding up his hands. Vita, I love you to death, but the fact that you somehow managed to make yourself even more existentially disturbing is both impressive and not something I want a part of. Yeah, please don't put your parasite in anyone, honey, Lynn says. No offense to Penta, but that's not going to fly here. I frown, but nod. That makes sense. Having my body controlled by a slime wasn't exactly the most fun thing in the world. Sorry, Penta murmurs. It's fine, I think back. I knew it would be like that when I took you in. But now we've got to figure out how the hell to hide you. How long can you live outside a body? Not long, Penta admits. I'll start to starve after a few minutes without a host. Knowing what I know now, I think my body starts to consume my soul for energy to survive that. I think that's what causes me to lose memories. I frown. Interesting. So you can eat souls too? No. Not like you do at all. But you've seen that sick and dying creatures have strained souls, right? My species is always strained outside of a host. Our bodies aren't designed to function on their own. Yet instead of dying like we should, we consume our very beings for fuel. So can we just put you in a rat? It would certainly help, yes. But a rat's brain can't do what I need a brain for anymore. My soul is too big. I'd probably still start to lose myself after a while. I thought Penelope was disproving the whole brain-soul link. I have my own theory, Penta said. We can use you to confirm it. But later. Surviving the day comes first. I glance at Lynn and Rowan, their faces placid as they wait patiently for me to stop babbling to myself like a crazy woman. I'm honestly surprised you don't even question the mind control slime, I tell them. It's less surprising than the animancy thing, Lynn says, shrugging. By the way, we got you another rat bucket to celebrate your return. Oh, sweet. I cheer, grinning. Told you she'd like it, Lynn says, nudging Rowan. He puts his face in his hands. Watcher, why is my entire family insane? He asks ruefully. 'Cause you like 'em crazy, Lynn purrs, running a finger down his cheek. Gross. I retrieve my bucket of rats, happily tearing out a handful of souls. The rats screech in terror as their kin die in droves, trapped in a pile of soon-to-be corpses, unable to escape. I toss their souls in my mouth like popcorn. Yum. Save one for me to hide in until we get a better plan, Penta insists, halting my hand. A flash of fury passes through me at the takeover, but I take a breath and let it pass. Okay. Good idea, I admit. I also wanna see if we can use one of the rat corpses to make a me slime revenant. You know, of the Nora that Remus put in me? I've been hanging on to that soul since I figure it'll probably have good information. There's a long pause before Penta responds. Well, go ahead, she answers eventually. I had no special attachment to her, and she might have good information. Whoa, hold on. Lynn says. You wanna make a zombie in the house? No, I say. I wanna make a revenant in the house. Is that safe? She asks. Vita controls them, Rowan says. I'm not sure if the Templars can detect that, though. There aren't any nearby, I reply. Everyone within 200 meters is way too small soul to be one. Still, it seems like a risk, Lynn says hesitantly. If the Templars can sense soul weirdness, we're probably fucked anyway. I think mine's about to hatch. Hatch? Rowan asks. What does that mean? I have absolutely no idea. I pluck a corpse out of the murder bucket, nabbing Slime Vita's soul as well. Putting the two together, I find that this time it sticks just fine. The rat looks around in confusion, and squeaks. "Hey there," I tell it. "Can you understand me?" The rat nods. It looks around rapidly, then scurries over to a dirty part of the floor, starting to scratch something into the ground. I'm not a good reader, surprise surprise, but I've slowly picked up the alphabet and can sound out small words. The ones here, I understand. Hi Mom. This must be how Lynn feels. Chapter 29. I stare at the words. Roan looks on with concern as Lynn tries to hold in a laugh. I pick up the small rat in my hands. She squeaks happily, nuzzling me. Then I hug my beautiful rat daughter. "I hereby name you Vitamin," I declare, squeezing her carefully to not break the dead bones. "For you are like me, but very very small. Look who's a mom now, eh kiddo?" Lynn says, grinning massively. "Oh gosh, Lynn. You're right," I reply, smiling back avidly. I hold up the little rat. "Vitamin, meet your grandmother." Lynn clutches her chest and dramatically falls over backwards, making gagging noises as Rowan and I erupt into laughter. "Ah, Vitamin is so cute. Why did she call me Mom? No, wait. Of course she called me Mom. I raised her. Ha! It's great to meet you, Vitamin," I say. "I wanted to ask you if you know where Remus is, or what he's doing." The rat nods happily, hopping off my hands and scratching more into the dirt. "Dad is in Lishla village." I choke a little after sounding the first word out. "Ah, if I'm Mom, Remus Lime isn't your dad, okay? You're like, adopted. Okay. So, what's he doing in a village?" I ask. "Spreading." "Wonderful," I murmur. "It even writes little exclamation points," Roan murmurs. "Vita, is it an or a he, or a she?" Lynn asks. "I dunno, I'm just guessing," I say. "Vitamin? Mom is a girl. I'll be one too." "Well there we go. How does it feel to be a mother, Vita?" Lynn taunts. "Really weird, since the first step was killing a baby," I reply. "I think Remus Lime said she's like 10 hours old or something." "Oh," Lynn says, sobering up. "Yikes. I had to. She was controlling my body and about to tell Remus I'm a necromancer. I want to see if she loses her memories while she is like that," Penta says, butting in for the first time in a while. "Yeah, good call. We'll keep an eye on it. Vitamin, let us know if you think you're starting to forget things, okay?" "Okay. Wanna see if you can hide in her as well?" I ask. "I bet I can't, but sure." Penta responds, detaching from my neck, flowing rapidly down my body, out my knee, and along the dusty ground before passing into the animated rat corpse. She spends about half a minute there before rushing out and returning to my neck, slithering up the inside of my arm. I'm never going to get used to that feeling. "No dice," she says after settling in again. "Damn, that thing's kinda fast," Lynn murmurs. "Well fuck, there goes the easy option," I say, scowling. "How long do you think you can stay in a living rat?" "I wouldn't feel safe for more than 20 minutes, Penta answers. "I might be able to stomach up to an hour. More than that, and I'm going to find a human host." "And what do we do with Vitamin?" Lynn asks. "I don't think it'll be safe keeping an undead here." "Yeah, probably not," I agree. "Especially tonight with all the Templars running around like a kid anthill. Hey, Vitamin? I'm gonna need to pull your soul back out, okay honey? I'll get you a better corpse later, I promise." Vitamin nods, wiggling her tiny body happily. "She just called the dead rat honey," Roan murmurs up at Lynn. "I know. Isn't she the cutest?" Lynn coos. "Vita or the dead rat?" Lynn just smiles her big goofy grin in response. I carefully grab my daughter's soul and murder her a second time, returning the spirit to my body. Then I grab the rat bucket and stand up, nodding to my family. "Well, I should get back there. Wish me luck." "Good luck, kiddo." Lynn cheers. "If they put you in jail I'll be sure to come break you out." "Thanks, "Grandma," I answer, and she pretends to choke again. "Vita," Rowan says. "Do you remember our promise?" "Always," I reply seriously. Though I don't know if I can follow it literally. I don't know if I ever did. He gets up, pulling me in for another hug. "That's okay. Follow the spirit, not the letter. But you're worrying me with all this stuff you get up to. I feel like I'm missing a lot of context here. I don't know how to help." I squeeze him hard. "Just stay safe." "All right," he says, smiling. "I'll see what I can do." I rush back towards the guild, keeping a wide berth from the many Templars roaming around. They are strong. Not as strong as Remus, at least not the ones I see. Way stronger than me, though. They are all pretty close to Penelope's level, actually. When I make it there, I feel Penelope in the guild's fancy office, talking to someone. Probably the guild head. I'll let her do that. If she plans to spill anything I don't want her to spill, she's surely already done it. Saving her from a hellish nightmare, no offense, Penta, probably gives me enough chops to get her to trust me for now. None taken, Penta murmurs sardonically, the pair of us heading up the stairs to wait in my room. That reminds me, I have to introduce Penta to Roscoe. She will, after all, be the only person other than me to experience the unparalleled comfort of his squishy, floofy hugs. "I'm honored," Penta says, and she actually seems serious. Well, damn right she is. She curls my lips into a smile at that, and we open the door to my room, waving at Nora. She's doing sit-ups on the floor. "Hey, Nora." "Vita," she grunts. "Sup?" I saw Penelope was back. "She clear now?" "Yeah," I say. "She's good. We're safe. Should you be working out this hard before Hiveric hits?" "I'm not working out, I'm limbering up," she protests, but starts to slow down. "Did you forget?" I ask, smirking as I go sit on my bed. "Yes," she groans, flopping flat on her back. "How did I even do that? It's not like it's an enormous motherfucking stone egg in the sky or anything. It's kind of been a crazy week," I say. "Not a lot of time to look up. Penelope and I forgot too." "It's weird that we'll be on standby," Nora comments. "Hiveric never bothered my village much, we were out in bumfuck nowhere. I saw them drop a few times, though, and I heard the stories. We huddled up together and hid every time. If they had come for us, we would have just died." I nod, pulling Roscoe from his hiding spot and sitting him on my lap. "Yeah, sounds the same as where I grew up," I tell her. She raises an eyebrow. "Didn't you grow up here? Like, the place with all the crazy powerful Templars?" "Yeah, but they sure weren't patrolling my neighborhood," I say. Nora wrinkles her nose. "It sounds like it's my turn to go have that life-changing adventure over at your house. We can bring Bentley to make it expedient if you want." I snort. "Sure. The ghetto wisdom is included free if you bring food." It can't be that bad, right?" I give her a flat look. All right, sorry," she says, holding up her hands. I look forward to seeing the place that shaped the world's tiniest badass. I roll my eyes, picking Roscoe up to look him in the eyes. "You hear that, Rossi-Wassi? Nora thinks I'm a badass." Penta vibrates in the back of my neck, presumably from reverence and not laughter. I also magnanimously pretend not to hear Nora making awing noises. I fall over onto the bed and continue to snuggle for a while. God damn, I am just so tired. At least I got sleep last night, because with Hiveric up I'll probably need to pull an all-nighter again. No rest for the wicked, though. While I wait for Penelope, I feel out with my mind, trying to push the limits of what I can pick up with my soul sense. It's been getting more and more detailed lately as my own soul gets stronger and stronger. Sensing minute changes in a soul based on circumstance just seems useful, but as always it's not so simple. Souls do not change or move much, and the way souls change or move seems to differ from soul to soul. Sensing the moment-by-moment differences is one thing, while interpreting them is entirely another. The person Penelope is talking to has a small soul, brown and warm like dirt under sunlight. Or a turd, I guess, but the earthy tones to the feeling are inviting and fresh, not putrid. As the man speaks, I think it's a man, though it's hard to tell. His soul moves ever so slightly up and down in time to the ebbs and flows of the conversation, like bobbing on a wave. Penelope's soul, meanwhile, hums ever so quietly. It's a tune nearly impossible to feel, but the more I focus, the more I think I can hear the song. So, where's Remus? Nora asks suddenly, snapping my trance. No sense lying to her. Penelope is telling the branch leader everything anyway. He's off mind controlling a bunch of people with his slime babies, I explain, still cuddled up on my bed. She laughs. Okay, but what's he actually doing? I roll over and stare at her. What? She asks. He's mind controlling a bunch of people with his slime babies, I repeat slowly, being sure to articulate this time. Wait, you're fucking serious? She asks, eyes opening wide. Yeah. He tried to put one in me. It didn't take, I pretended it did, then I freed Penelope. Couldn't save the boss. Watch his eyes, Vita. You're not fucking with me, right? Nope, I confirm. It's kind of super bad. Penelope's telling the guild head now. How did you free Penelope? I sigh. I guess I may as well tell her that too. The sensory thing isn't the only thing I can do, I admit. I've been keeping another talent a secret cause I don't want to freak people out. It's kinda murdery. Oh. Damn, so is that how you got those tentacle bitches? Yup, I admit. Sorry for keeping it under wraps. It's not really the best power, but it helps against small things. Oh, poor Vita, Nora coos, getting up and walking over to my bed. She leans down and gives me a big hug. You killed something on accident, didn't you? The hug surprises me a bit, and I stiffen up before leaning into it a little. Yeah, I admit. How did you know? She shrugs. It's how the murder powers go. My little bro killed our pet cat when we found out. Oh, I mutter. Well, that's not too bad. Vita, Nora murmurs, please don't say something horribly sad like I've never pet a cat before. I have. I protested. Oh, thank fuck, she says. It was dead at the time, but still soft. The feral cats don't let you pet them when they're alive. Yep, there it is, she says tersely. Penelope opens the door at that moment, peeking her head in. Nora, have you seen? Ah. Vita. The branch leader wants to see you. I frown. I'm not in trouble, am I? She snorts. No. Not yet. Enough, I relent, exiting Nora's hug. I put Roscoe back in bed, grab my bucket of rats, and follow Penelope out the door. Then, before we get to the branch leader, I grab her and pull her into an empty room. Ack. Vita, what the hell? She hisses. I know more stuff. I whisper. Because of secrets. I figured out where Remus is. How? Because of secrets. Come on, keep up. I'll tell you after our talk with the guild guy. Somewhere other than this building, where we can be alone. Alone? As in just you, me, and that thing? She asks, narrowing her eyes. Penelope, I didn't save you just to unsave you. No, you just spared the fucking slime because you like it more than me, she hisses. What's in the bucket? A whole bunch of dead rats, I say honestly. I was hoping you could treat them to be edible. She spends a moment struggling to respond to that before shaking her head and changing the subject. So, where's Remus? Lisha Village. And how would you like us to tell the branch leader that you know this? I don't know. If you haven't noticed, I'm in entirely over my head. She snorts. Oh, I've noticed. Which is why I was hoping we could come up with something. I say happily. Is this something we could have like, logically deduced from context, or? Penelope rolls her eyes. Vita, if you want to lie, keep it simple. We'll just say he told you he was headed there at some point. It doesn't really matter. If it's true, and I'm assuming it is for now, they'll have every reason to want the tip. The important thing is that the slime inside him dies, after all. Cool. Works for me, I say, moving to head on out of the room. She follows, but I hesitate for a moment. And, you know, Penelope, most of the parts I like about her are things she took from you. She flinches, but doesn't respond. The two of us go to the branch leader's office together. Advertisement Chapter 30. I open the door for Penelope, working in afterwards. The branch leader is a portly man, complete with impressive jowls. I haven't seen a lot of jowls before, but I immediately decide I don't like them. He's got thin, graying hair, and is sweating enough to stain his shirt, yet he gives me a big smile when I walk in, opening his arms in a welcome. Ah, you must be Vida, then. Hello, hello. Hello, sir, I say politely, nodding to him. This guy is ugly as sin, but his soul feels quite nice. I'm not gonna be rude. Before we start, could I get you to drink this? He asks, handing me a small vial of clear liquid. It's not alcohol, right? I ask, swishing my bucket back and forth to signal Penta to get in the rat. That stuff hits me hard. Rowan says I'm not supposed to have any. He chuckles, and I feel Penta quickly swim down my arm and plop into the bucket. No, nothing like that, the branch leader assures me. It's a much more potent poison. I blink. Come again? It's poison, he confirms. Not enough to kill you, knock you out, or do any lasting damage. You'll just feel very uncomfortable for a while. Some people have a few aches and pains. But what it will do is kill any Nora in your body. It's standard procedure for situations like this. So, I have to ask again. Drink. Ah. Well. That explains why I haven't felt any Nora before, I suppose. With Penta safely out of my body, I bring the poison to my lips and drink. It's odorless, flavorless. Just a nothingness running down my throat. Shit, I wonder if they spike drinks with this. There's not a lot here. At first I don't feel anything, but pretty soon my whole body starts to hurt like a day after sparring with Remus. Oh, I tell the branch leader, handing him the vial back. He laughs. Sorry, I know. It's not pleasant at all. We just had to check. So, Penelope tells me you have a talent that lets you detect Nora inside a person? Yes sir. I do, I admit. And you also have a talent that can kill Nora inside a person's body. I'm, a walking Noraben, sir, I admit, trying not to wince. Yes, a very impressive set of talents. It sounds like it's some sort of natural biomancy, but I've never heard of anything like it. Please don't ship me off to get researched, I plead. I'll activate puppy dog eyes for this if I have to. He raises an eyebrow. Well, I'll not make you, but there's good money in it if you have a new talent. Money, or not being found out as a necromancer and murdered by Templars. That's tough. I'll think about it, I say dryly. So, about Remus. It's worth noting my kill thing doesn't work on all Nora. I tried to murder his slime, but he didn't even notice. The branch leader's eyebrows raise. You tried to kill the slime in Remus? Of course I tried to kill the slime in Remus. I answer. He's planning on infecting the population of Lisha village. Can't we save him somehow without killing him? Maybe trick him into drinking that? Well, I'd certainly like that, but I doubt it will be that simple to get the drop on a man like him. We have to assume that thing is just as powerful and clever as its host. A random idea forms in my mind. It's probably worth bringing up, at least. Well, he thinks Penelope and I still have Nora in us, I say. Can we sneak in and spike a drink with it? He strokes his salt and pepper beard. If the two of you would be willing to try. Well, we would be loath to lose a man like Remus. He is an asset to the guild and to the city. Penelope stares at me in half terror, half fury. What? Oh. I guess I sort of just volunteered her to walk into a village full of Nora, didn't I? I guess she, probably wouldn't like that. I mouth sorry at her. It doesn't seem to help. Obviously, we're not going to entrust a mission like this solely to a pair of new guild recruits. We can't set out tonight, of course, But I think with this information I can convince the church to lend you a Templar escort without much trouble. Ah, and I just fucked myself too. Gosh, I mean. I don't know if it's no trouble, I assure you. The man says happily. This is exactly the sort of thing the Templars are for. Our branch of the guild has a very positive working relationship with them, and I think they'll be more than willing to try a plan to save Remus. As soon as we are safe from the threat of Iveric, I'll get everything ready for you. Can the both of you make sure to stay in the guild tonight? Thank you. He ushers us to the exit, politely gets us into the hallway, and shuts his door. Penelope and I take a few stunned moments to process the amount of shit I just got us into. Vita. Penelope hisses softly. You absolute, imbecilic, insane. Yeah, I know, I fucked up, I say, cutting her off. I really fucked up. It seemed like a good suggestion at the time. Ugh. Can you just get this poison out of me? Then we'll go talk. She takes a deep breath. Fine. Let's go to the mess hall. I'll have to burn through your metabolism. Hey, fine by me. The two of us head downstairs and I start stuffing my face, Penelope casting on me as she eats a little herself. Eventually, she nods to me and I stick my hand in the rot bucket. Penna flashes up my arm immediately, settling into my neck and shuddering a little. Slimes vibrating inside my spine is not something I think I'm ever going to get used to. That was deeply unpleasant, my voice comments on its own. We need a better strategy than that. Hey, sorry, I think. I'm trying. Did you lose any memories? A few, I think, but nothing important, she murmurs quietly. I'm more concerned about my new memories of being a suffocating rat in a sea of her brethren's corpses. Oh. I might not have thought about that. Empathy. Are you done? Penelope snaps. I'm still owed my explanation. Right. Are you okay with heading back to my place? She scowls. The branch leader asked us to stay here. He meant for tonight. Like, for Iveric. Come on, we'll be back way before then. There is no need to pull me through the slums again unless you're planning on having me mugged, she complains. My secrets were spilled outside a fucking outhouse. Sorry, Penta says, and then I speak after her. It's just not something I can talk about here. Plus. Like no, I was sort of hoping you'd treat the kids. Is that? I mean, I know that's something Penta promised, but... Penelope scowls. Fine, she relents. I grin and we get ready to go, making sure she dresses in her armor this time. I collect my money from the receptionist and we hoof it back to my place to the sound of yet more hemming and hawing about us having to run. I'm once again greeted by a grinning Lynn. Vita. Hey, kiddo, back already? Who's this? Hi Lynn. I say happily, running in for a hug. This is Penelope. Like, the actual Penelope. She knows about stuff. And I need to tell her more stuff. If that's okay. Oh, is this the girl that healed the kiddos? I smile. Technically no, but we're gonna get healing this time, too. Lynn's eyes go wide. She bows her head at Penelope, much to the girl's embarrassment. Well, thank you very much, Miss Penelope. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Ah, no. That's quite all right, Miss Lynn, Penelope said, putting one hand over her collarbone. I assure you, if I did not owe Vita my life, I would not be here. There is no debt for you to pay. Liar, Penta whispers softly. I grin. So, I know this isn't an outsider thing, but the biomancer that heals the kids is an honorary family member, Lynn says, waving you off. Roan's still down there, tell him I said it's okay. You sure, though? If by more stuff you mean. Well, you know. She looks a little rich for it. Penelope blinks, her face blank. Huh? She's never heard it slung back the other direction, has she? I promised her, that's all, I say. If it doesn't work out. Sucks to be me, I guess. Fair enough, Lynn agrees. You sure you can't stay home for Iveric? I'm gonna be scared as fuck for you. Sorry, I say honestly. I want to. I shouldn't, though. Bunch of things happened, and I'm needed at the guild. I might be sent out soon, too. Oh, shit. Good luck, Vita. You too, Lynn. I show Penelope our secret basement and hop down. Rowan raises an eyebrow at us when Penelope climbs down the ladder, but I shut him up pretty fast by tossing him a hefty bag of coins. Biomancer says the kids need meat and veggies sometimes or they'll get sick, I tell him. If you don't figure out how to please the mob and feed everyone, I'll smack you. This should be more than enough. Who's this? The Biomancer? Rowan asks, tilting his head at Penelope. That would be me, she answers dryly. Could we have fewer family reunions and more explanations, please? Yeah, okay, I agree. We silent, Rowan. As always, he answers. I take a deep breath. This is it then, huh? Blasphemy time. Am I really going to do this? This conversation could decide my future. If it goes poorly, I could be driven out of the city or worse. But if it goes well, I'm a natural mage, I tell Penelope. You don't say, she answers blandly. The kind of magic I'm able to naturally cast is necromancy. That breaks her demeanor a bit. She narrows her eyes, hands flicking into spell patterns. I glance at Rowan, relieved to see him looking more thoughtful than worried about whatever she's casting. She finishes her spell in short order. Prove it, Penelope says. I shrug, pulling a rat corpse out of my bucket and lobbing it at her. I had been expecting a shriek or something, but she actually catches it. That's dead, right? I say. Very, she confirms, giving it back. Holding it in my hands, I push Vitamin Soul into it. She twitches a bit, then looks around. Hey, Vitamin. Are you doing okay? I ask happily. The little rat nods. I smile at her. Yay. I just wanted to give you a hug, okay? I do so, squeezing her lightly against my chest. That was all. Love you. I pull the soul back up, then look at Penelope. She scowls. I see, she murmurs quietly. So your scouting ability? Soul sensing, I tell her. Yours is all bubbly on the bottom and spiky on the top, by the way. And it makes pretty noises. She struggles to answer for a short while before deciding to just move on. Your death touch. Yoink. I pull souls right out of people. And things that aren't people, I guess. I try to smile, not letting the terror show on my face. Penelope just gives me a flat look, letting the silence creep my panic higher and higher. Show me again, she says. I gulp and nod, pulling more rat corpses out of the bucket. Tiny fragments of soul break away at my will, and whatever writhing thing lives inside me twists gleefully as I pull off parts of the shell. I put each shard in a rat corpse, whispering at them to stay put as soon as I create them. The simple zombies obey, and when I have them all made and lined up, I begin to demonstrate. Roll over. They do. Dance. They perform a twitchy movement, stumbling around in their best facsimile of style. A grin creeps up my face as I watch them obey me. Ah, if only it were legal. Okay, stop, Penelope says. I believe you. It always felt odd to hear there are no natural animancers, but here you are. Here I am, I agree. You're taking this weirdly well. I don't care particularly much about the nature of your power, she answers. If anything, it's nice to know I have some verifiable blackmail on you. I say. It's just in case, she assures me, smiling a little. I'm sure I'll never have to use it. Anyway, that's very interesting. The mana patterns are like nothing I've ever seen before. So this is animancy. You wouldn't happen to be a conomancer as well, would you? She asked the question very casually, but failed to hide a bit of an edge to her words. Not that I know of, no, I say honestly. I can see souls in living things, but I've never been able to do anything to them other than yank them out. That makes sense, she murmurs. No need to set up all this if you could just alter my mind. Well, that explains why you're not a fan of Templars. They'd ship you right off, wouldn't they? I wonder if you being able to use your natural magic while possessed by an aura is due to the fact that it's animancy, or the way you're casting the animancy. What happens to a soul when you yank it out? I can store them inside me. I answer happily. They can be used to make undead, or I can just eat them. She furrows her brows. Eat them? Yeah. I say, excited to finally be able to talk about it. They are super delicious. Also, they make me stronger. Whenever anything dies, their soul just kinda sits around. Then either this giant ethereal abomination I'm pretty sure is the Mist Watcher grabs them and pulls them through the ground, or I grab them first. Honestly, a big part of the reason I wanted to be a hunter was so I could have access to monster souls. Rat souls only go so far, you know? I've gotten way stronger munching on the stuff we killed on that last mission. So would it be accurate to say that you are currently in the business of stealing souls from God? Penelope asks, her mouth twitching upwards a bit. I swallow. I mean, finders keepers? She snorts, which quickly evolves into a full-blown laugh. A metal thief and a soul thief. Aren't you just a blasphemous lineage? I tense. Don't you tell anyone that Lynn lives here, I warn dangerously. She glances at me and flinches a little, then turns up her nose. Calm down, she snaps. I promise that if this relationship comes to threats, they will be against you directly. But if I find my necklace is missing, the gloves come off. I chuckle, letting the tension release. Okay, I'll be sure to tell Lynn to keep her hand out of your boobs. Anyway, yeah. That's what I can do. What do you think? Penelope is silent for an uncomfortably long time before speaking again. I am not really sure yet. Animancy had crossed my mind for possibilities, but since you seem to be a natural mage I had dismissed it. I think if you had been a learned animancer I would have tried to play along before turning you into the authorities at the earliest opportunity. Nothing personal, but, well, there tends to only be one kind of person who goes out of their way to seek that sort of power. As a natural, though, you're actually quite intriguing. I take a deep breath, then let it out. I really expected you to freak the fuck out over this, I tell her. Penelope murmurs. Well, consider not thinking so little of me. Can you make revenants or whites? Revenants, yeah. Never tried to make a white, but the revenants are creepy. They know everything they knew in life, but they're loyal to me. She narrows her eyes. Did you make that slime a revenant, then? Nah, Pent is just a product of good, old-fashioned extortion and threats. My hand moves up of its own accord and flicks me in the nose. Oh. I was kidding. But you were saying, basically, that you can rip people's souls out and turn them into loyal servants that know everything the host knows? Penelope clarifies. Yeah, I guess. She frowns, tapping a finger against her arm. This time, her poker face is perfect, but her soul trembles. Interesting, is all she says. I order my mini-rat army over to me and yank my soul bits out, putting them back where they belong. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. It's what I am. I'm trying to grow strong enough to defend myself when the wrong person eventually finds out, and support my family in the meantime. Well, good for you, Penelope says. I think you've told me everything then. Can we go now? Don't forget the kiddos. I insist. They need their Auntie Penelope. Firstly, not their auntie. Secondly, don't you think it would be easier to feed your family if your parents hadn't made so many of them? Nobody here is related, I tell her. Lynn's just helping everybody out because she's the nicest person on the island. The nicest criminal, perhaps. Just make sure she doesn't keep all the damn metal she's stealing in the same place, Penelope grumbles, heading up the ladder. She's far from the most dangerous metal thief around. I'll keep that in mind, I guess. How did you find out Remus was in Alicia Village, by the way? Oh, Vitamin told me. She's a revenant of the slime that possessed me. I couldn't put her in her own body, so I put her in a rat. Well, there's probably nothing keeping Honora's body together without its soul. They are shockingly simple creatures in structure, like nothing I've seen before. We exit the secret area below, the kids immediately crowding around for treatment. Penelope makes them all lie down and gets to work, one after the other. I sit and watch, feeling the song of her soul hum a low, sad tune. Thanks for not treating me like a monster, I say after a bit. She doesn't even glance at me, engrossed in her work. Why would I treat you like a monster? She asks. You're clearly human. I swallow dry, not arguing with her. Though I feel like I should. It takes another couple hours for her to finish treating all the kids, and she's visibly exhausted by the end of it. She still makes me lie down so I can get the treatment as well. Thank you so much, I tell her. If you want any help with your research, you can just ask. Maybe we can find out that brain connection more easily. She snorts. Watcher's eyes, you're still on about that. Fine. I can see how you might be useful, now. I smile. I'll take that. We make our way back to the guild, watching the sky as her Varric floats ever closer. It wouldn't be long now. If they're going to come, they'll come in force. For the first time in a while, though, I'm feeling kind of optimistic about it all. Chapter 31. Varric floats abnormally close to our island. It skims just barely above the great mountain Claw Peak, which crests a few thousand feet above the walls of Skyhope. I've heard that closeness, as well as the abundance of farmable land on our island, is what makes our island so appealing for those invaders. Yet who really knows? Back at the guild, we find the rest of our team together in the mess hall, along with a ton of other hunter teams. Almost all of them have been recalled for this, apparently. So many huge, interesting souls. Vita, Penelope. Hey. Bentley says, waving boisterously at me. I smile and wave back. As I walk on over, Bentley immediately gets up and squeezes me in a huge hug. Vita. Nora said Penelope is going to be okay. You did it. Bentley cries. Ack. Why yes. Yes, we did. Please put me down. He does, though nothing can put down his smile. Have you ever helped during a Varric night before, Vita? I haven't. I'm excited. Only you would be excited to get stabbed by parachuting bug men, Bentley, Orville says flatly. Wait, parachuting? Nora asks. I figured the bug people would have wings. Nope, Orville says, shrugging. They just jump on us. They are batshit insane. They don't stop until the whole damn island passes over, no matter how many we blow out of the sky. Boulders too, which the High Templars have to deal with. Barely any touched down the last time they attacked, though, which is probably what prompted them to stop. Have you fought on Varric nights? I ask, surprised. Yeah, Orville confirms. A bunch of times. My master said it was a good way to learn. It wasn't exactly pleasant, but I can't deny that the non-stop threat of death is a hell of a motivation to speed up casting time. Is that why you're a hunter? I ask. More or less, yeah. You can't become stronger without pushing yourself. Drills only do so much. Do you think they'll attack tonight, Orville? Bentley asks. I don't know, Bentley, I'm not a suicidal four-armed bug man. We don't even know what they want. The ones that get captured just do nothing until they starve. Huh? That's kinda creepy. Ooh, maybe I can find a bug man's soul and ask them. That would be cool. My arm chops me in the kidney. I yelp. I mean, not that I want an invasion to happen. That'd be really bad. My eyes roll on their own. Even my body betrays me. Dang sassy mind control slimes. You okay, Vita? Orville asks, his eyebrow raised. Yeah, I assure him. Just trying to keep myself awake. I've only had one full night of sleep in the past, 6 days, I think? 7? I'm out of soul snacks, too. Honestly, it's a catastrophe. Maybe if there's just a very small invasion. Oh, shit, that's right. Vita, do you want to take a nap before nightfall? Yeah, I should probably sleep. But I'm more interested in these bug people. Do they understand us? I dunno, Orville says. Do they attack any other islands? I don't know that either. What's their hive structure like? How would I even know that? He asks, exasperated. Vita, go sleep. We'll wake you up when night falls. Okay, I agree. I'm going. I trudge up the stairs, not bothering to undo bits of my armor. I'm just going to pass out in it. You wouldn't happen to be able to keep watch while I sleep, would you? I murmur to Penta. No, she subvocalizes. I'll fall unconscious when you do. We dream the same dreams, I think. Oh, that's kind of cute. Personally, I find it disturbing. I flop down on my bed, grabbing Roscoe and holding him tight. Ugh, I can't sleep on my stomach anymore. It hurts my chest. I don't even have boobs yet. Are you holding up okay, Penta? I ask her. Sharing a body is weird. It's better than I can expect anywhere else. That's not really an answer. A pause. I want my own body, she admits. I'm not planning to swim out and take one, but I can't deny it's tempting. I frown. Yeah, she's sort of gone from warden to prisoner, huh? It's not just that, she says, answering my thought. I can probably get used to that. But I worry. Can we really be friends when I'm just a tag-along? Of course we can be friends. I insist. We can figure out how to share, right? It's nice knowing someone is there to watch my back. You say that, my mouth whispers, but the moment I irritate you I'm put back in the box. I feel you holding my soul whenever you do it, Vita. It's a terror unlike any other. Sorry. I'll try to lean away from the soul-grabbing thing. And, if you want your own body, we can look together. The problem is going to be finding someone awful enough that we don't mind consigning them to lifelong torture, but not so awful that you being in their head makes you turn evil. Yes, that is a bit of a restrictive conundrum, isn't it? She murmurs flatly. You could also make me a... Well, you know. I blink. You mean one of the dead things that follow my orders unconditionally? I think. Yes, she mutters. That. If I'm going to be bound to obey you either way, and let's face it, I am, I can tolerate wanting to do it. The issue there is, of course. Can't have undead running around, yeah. It's not really a solution. We'll try to think of something, okay? Thank you, Vita. Sorry to be such a bother. I know you're going out of your way to save my life, I wish I could be anything other than Nora. We'll figure something out, I promise. You ready to sleep? I'm as tired as you are. Good night, Vita. Good night, Penta. Line of dashes. Get up, V, Nora says. Penumbra's coming. My eyes shoot open and I hop to my feet, grabbing my spear and checking my knife. Yep. Everything's in place. Anything yet? I ask the fully armored Hulk that is Nora. Nothing, she says. It's not totally dark yet, but the island is coming in fast. How long were Hiveric nights? 5 hours plus a bit, I think. Maybe if there's no attack I can use that time to freak out over how I accidentally signed myself up to go on a mission with fucking Templars. I'm so dumb. Whatever, right now we have to worry about Bugman. I head outside with Nora, the rest of my team waiting. A Templar, as facelessly helmeted as always, orders us to stand street guard a couple blocks down. Orville is providing overwatch from a rooftop above us. Looking towards the island aft, there is no longer a sky. Just the enormous, towering island of Hiveric, consuming more and more of the wall-blocked horizon. Hiveric's orbit is nearly the same as ours, but further from the mists and much, much faster. Its penumbra, the ever-deepening shadow cast by a higher island before true nighttime, rapidly darkens the sky as it approaches. The whole team has to take care not to hold our breath in awe of the sight. Our island is wide, but Hiveric is tall, a towering spire of worked and layered stone. As it gets ever closer, I can just barely spot tiny moving specks on the outer walls of the island, the tireless bug people, working their craft even as they approach enemy territory. What exactly they're working on, though, I have no idea. Perhaps they are just waiting to drop on us. It gets darker, and darker, and darker, until suddenly light flashes into being again. From around the city, enormous spotlights shine like the day, granting visibility all the way up to the underside of the Vigor. The island orbits so frighteningly close, just over a half-mile above us. Before long, it's directly overhead. Fear centers us, anticipation stretching every minute to an hour. When will the attack come? Will there be one this time? What sort of plan have they been saving for us? Just when I start to think they are leaving us alone again, bodies start to drop. They fall, tumbling from heights barely visible. There is no coordinated dive or practiced fall. The four-armed humanoid silhouettes roll head over heels, flailing in the skies. Commanding shouts echo around the city, and 10 seconds from the first drop, we shoot back. The mages fire first, piercing the sky with burning bolts and spell-slung arrows. There is no need for the archers to follow up. Barely 2-3 dozen figures fell from the island above. They are all dead before they hit the ground. That's it. Nothing else falls on the city. There are other places the bugs are dropped, one group at a time. The groups are small, and everything near Skyhope is easily wiped out. Some fall far away, either blown up by other cities I know little about or dropped into places we cannot defend and do not care to. Any of our foes who fall into the deep forest have far more to worry about than us. That's it. Just patches. We wait with bated breath, anticipating the deadly follow-up that never comes. Is that normal, Orville? Nora calls up. Not even a little bit, he answers. This is new. Normally we have a sky full of bug men or nothing. I have no idea what that was. We wait and wait and wait, 10 hours passing. By the third hour in, everyone is antsy. When will something finally happen? What was this, psychological warfare? A feint? Are there invisible bug men dropping somewhere else? Well, if so, they are nowhere near me. Or they don't have souls, I guess, but I doubt that. By the fourth hour, people are starting to relax despite their better judgment. By the fifth hour, we're convinced nothing is coming. Dropping soldiers in any significant quantities right when they're leaving would be a strategically questionable move, to say the least. So what, they just dropped a few people on us, went yep, this city is still well defended and then gave up? Nora grumbles. That was fucking terrifying, but nothing happened. Yeah, I have no idea, Orville answers. Maybe they were just giving us all the people they don't like. We chuckle nervously, keeping our eyes on the sky. Surely that was all for something. Yet it's not until we can nearly see the light of day again that it comes. All around us, yet far away from the city, inky black orbs pour from holes in the bottom of Vigor. Each spot we let their sacrificial soldiers drop to the earth by either apathy or inability to stop them, they dump those dark somethings. Quickly, a spotlight focuses on them, yet there's no information to glean. They are just pure black ovoids, reflecting no light. It's difficult to determine their size at such great distances, but each is likely at least as tall as my waist. What the fuck are those? Nora breathes. I have no idea, Orville answers. I just stare in horror. I don't know what they are either, but they remind me of my soul. Eggs, I whisper. Penelope hears me, and her eyes go wide. Eggs? She asks. Are you sure? Nope, I say honestly. But that's my bet. Eggs. Eggs of what? Bentley asks. None of us have an answer for him.